And we are live. I want to thank everyone for joining in to our CosmoStream. No Donald today. He's with the Gusanos in Miami. Um, I'm with my good comrade Carlos Joseph Perez. Yours truly, Jamil Akhtar Hamina. And today we have the world sucks, so it's it's not going to be without drama and tragedy. We're going to talk about the imperialist buildup vis-a-vis Venezuela. We're going to talk about drop sites, uh, drop sites recent work investigating leaked emails on the connection between Epstein and Mossad, which, if that article is correct, is pretty much confirmed. And then finally, we're going to finish by talking about Zoran Mamdani and all of the losers freaking out about his more or less imminent victory. So, and I was hoping maybe at the end we could make fun of Elon Musk has been on a kind of Twitter barrage recently where he's been saying some particularly stupid things by his standards. So I hope that maybe we can finish on a lighter note and look at the idiocy that this guy's pumping out. So yeah, let's first off, how you doing, comrade?
I'm doing pretty well. Excited about the election.
Yeah,
It's
I think
should
it's
be a landslide, but you never
yeah,
know.
yeah, definitely. For once, wait 1 second. Let me post to our uh we sorry guys. I'm having to navigate the technicalities right now of our streaming apparatus, and just bear with me as I figure things figure things out.
You're doing fine.
Yeah, Carlos always likes to make fun of me because I work with computers, but I'm
You
an
work
idiot.
with computer, yeah.
But I'm an idiot when it comes to computers. So
Well,
uh,
programming them and using them are two different things.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not a GUI expert. Is the point? Okay, wait. I just kind of want to see what it looks like from the outside. Okay. Anyways, do we have? How can I see if people are here? Can I see if anyone is logged in? I know what I'm gonna do. I have an idea.
If anybody's alive in the chat,
Yeah,
feel free
please.
to speak
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Shit. How do I post a link to this thing to share on?
How do you put it on the screen? See, I've never actually used this thing.
I know.
I know how
It's
it looks on your end.
yeah. I know exactly. I was expecting it to look like what it
So,
looks like.
okay, so on the screen, do you not see a little icon with an arrow and a screen in the middle?
Let me see. Yeah. Okay. We got 5 people watching.
Yeah, they can watch us stumble through this.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. It'll be a good show. Just
But
just bear with me.
just take a
Bear
look
with
at
me.
the icon in the middle of your
Yeah,
screen.
no, I have okay.
You can share your screen through that.
Okay, let me just.
This is me sharing my screen.
Yeah, post the link from. Can we post the link from? Let me see if I can. Okay, X. Oh Lord, I feel very stupid. I'm a stupid person right now. Yeah, post the link. Okay, there we go. Copy link. Lord. Also, I got my my Brooklyn Brewery outfit on right now, hoodie, beanie. So I look particularly stupid right now.
You look like an L train rider for sure.
Yeah, I do, right? Well, I mean, does this count?
You look like a Mamdani voter.
Anyways, okay, cool. So it seems like are we are live, and we have the link posted, and hopefully people will get pouring in. So let's start off with Venezuela. So
Okay.
so I guess Carlos, if you want to maybe just give a little bit of background about what's been going on, and then we can kind of delve into the guts of this article.
Sure. Yeah, I guess to start, the last few months, the U.S. military has been conducting strikes on Venezuelan vessels that are, in Venezuelan territorial waters, as well as, outside of Venezuelan territorial waters and international seas. So far, the U.S. military has conducted 10 of these strikes. They've
Wow,
blown
okay,
up.
I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah, I think it's 10. It's probably 11 by this point.
Yeah,
They conduct a strike a week at this point.
yeah.
But 10 or 11 strikes, they've killed about 65 people. The stated objective of these strikes is, to quote the Trump administration, to stop the flow of fentanyl or whatever into the United States. They're claiming that Nicolas Maduro is, the head of Tren de Aragua, the criminal organization, and
And
that
some
they're,
other one, right? Something that
yeah,
exploded.
these are really specious accusations, obviously, but they claim that he's the head of an international criminal organization, that he's using them to smuggle fentanyl into the United States. In some versions of this theory, China's thrown in there somehow. But long story short, the U.S. government is claiming to be doing this because they're claiming that these boats are actually drug runners.
Yeah,
Um,
and interestingly enough, so they claim that they're also that he's also the head of Cartel de los Soles, so the cartel of the suns. And now there's an entire Wikipedia article on this. And that this Wikipedia was probably generated by some fucking spook in the CIA, because there's a very notable section which is nature in dispute over existence, which is like, if you go to like the Comoras Wikipedia, there isn't like a fucking section. It's like, does it exist? Like, everyone knows it exists, and it's very clear that it exists. So this is in the this has the epistemic status of the ghost page on Wikipedia, which is, does it exist? Probably not, right? Yeah. Anyways, so that's what they're claiming, and apparently, I also heard. Well, Trump said that he
you're
yeah,
not lying.
yeah, I'm not lying.
Possible
Yeah,
criminal organization.
yeah. If so that's not a good sign that well, it's a good sign because it doesn't fucking exist. They're making this shit up. And I think it has to do with I think that the Venezuelan armed forces, they have a sun on there, like they have a sun insignia. So it's like being like the cartel of the eagles, because there's fucking eagles on some general's uniform,
Yeah.
American uniform. So I mean, oh yeah, so Trump also commented that he had authorized covert CIA actions within Venezuela.
Right.
Of course, I think that's probably more a de jure authorization, because U.S. special forces, including Green Berets, have been operating in Venezuela with impunity. It's the reason that people like Juan Guaido were able to do probably anything. So, and I imagine they've been trying to foment coup for many, 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 many years. So, yeah, anyways, this is like a gross escalation. Also, just like, they'll bomb people and then claim they're drug dealers and provide zero evidence.
None
And then
whatsoever.
secondly, like even if they could provide evidence, you don't have the legal right to just extrajudicially
Right.
bomb people in international waters.
It's important to point that out because I think it's kind of missed along among all of this stuff is that even if they were the drug dealers they purport to
Yeah,
be or the drug traffickers, that still doesn't give them the unilateral right to blow
no,
them up in the high seas.
absolutely not.
In
And
fact, it's straightforwardly illegal.
yeah, and this is just another example of how American hypocrisy around international law is becoming like before there was a lot of hypocrisy, right? It was this double standard where certain regimes were put under scrutiny for violation of human rights or international law while the Americans could do whatever the fuck they want, right? I mean, the most egregious example of the last decades was Iraq. Now it's kind of like they're like, we don't even care about being hypocritical. We don't care about international law. There is no international law for us. We're purely sovereign over the whole globe.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a very disturbing. I mean, not that the hypocritical status quo was a good thing, but this sort of just shredding of all international law and no
Right.
respect for other sovereignty is it's scary, quite
Well,
frankly.
I think we can pretty reasonably claim a before and after in terms of um, the sanctity of international law vis-a-vis American foreign policy. I think before October 7th, 2023, there was still, you know, a big a big impetus from the US government to, maintain the illusion that international laws are a force in the world. But I think it's pretty clear after October 7th that, you know,
Well, I mean, in some ways, it had been,
it's pretty much a dead letter now.
yeah. I mean,
It's
the
pretty
first,
much being increasingly seen.
yeah, it's definitely the shredding of kind of the post World War II liberal order has accelerated, not only with the second Trump regime, but with October 7th. It's been like an accelerant on
With the egregious violation of international law
yeah,
that
it's just gotten to levels that are just yeah, I mean it's so anyway, so that's what's going on and the US is escalating more and more. Uh
so they're building up their military
yeah,
forces
so it's worth
outside of Venezuela.
yeah, so I mean okay, this little thing depicts for us what's kind of going on. You got B-52s, whatever the hell B-1Bs are. Unfortunately, I'm not a military expert. I don't. Some other thing that kills people. A bunch of. I'm guessing these are aircraft carriers.
Well, yeah, like some of them are aircraft carriers. Some of them are amphibious, like squadrons, like basically squadrons capable of landing,
Yeah,
like an invasion force, basically.
yeah, that's
The drones, of course, fighter jets, transport aircrafts, basically everything you need to launch an invasion on a foreign country
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
currently being amassed in the Caribbean Sea and in US military bases that are now being reactivated.
yeah. And that so another aspect to this is America's imperial holdings are being used to. I mean, because what the hell else is like the U.S. Virgin Islands
Right.
or the Puerto Rico? I mean, come on, it's the whole. I mean, evidently, the whole continental United States is the product of settler colonialism, but this is like, like a very. It's not even spatial temp. Like, there isn't even spatial contiguity here. You know what I'm saying? Like Hawaii. Like, it's very clearly a bunch of imperial holdings. So yeah, so they're upgrading a long abandoned former Cold War naval base in the Caribbean. Reuters visual investigation has found. Okay, I don't know what that means. Does that mean they?
I mean, like satellite imagery and stuff,
I'm guessing that's what it is.
essentially.
Yeah, yeah. Former Roosevelt Roads Naval Base what underway when crews began clearing and repaving taxiway. Okay, yeah, for bombings. And this from the facility was one of the biggest U.S. naval stations in the world. The base occupies a strategic location and offers a large amount of space for gathering equipment. In addition to the upgrades of landing and takeoff capabilities, the U.S. is building out facilities at civilian airports in Puerto Rico and St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The 2 U.S. territories and colonies sit roughly 500 miles from Venezuela. Okay, that's that's not far.
Pretty convenient, staging ground for an
Yeah,
invasion.
for civilian aircraft, that's like an hour. So who knows how long it is for some of these planes. Who said that maritime experts who said that the construction blah 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 pointed to the preparation could carry out inside Venezuela. Yeah, I mean that's Venezuelan. I mean that's repeatedly alleged. I mean that's it's hardly an allegation. Like it's pretty obvious. They've said it. You can't say
Yeah.
it's alleged when the fucking people doing it on the other side have said that's what they want. That's
Yeah,
not, that is not
we
a
can see
proper
that.
use of the word alleged.
It is if you're trying to cover your ass as a journalist.
That's true. Yeah. Scare the pants off them and the generals around him. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've also increased the bounty on him. I think it's
what
absurd.
Is it at now?
It's in the tens of millions. So I guess they're hoping that some opportunistic general just does a coup and offs him. That had happened before, though. I think that there was a period, when Juan Guaido was running around like an idiot, proclaiming himself the president. I think that there were certain generals that tried to break off, and actually, Gray Zone did Blumenthal did an interview with that. What was that guy's name? Goulet or something like that. No, what's his name? Venezuelan coup leader, Green Beret. Operation Gideon, right?
Yeah, he was talking to that annoying special forces guy, right?
Yeah, that moron. Operation Gideon. So it had happened before. Like
so this was back during the Guaido period when they were trying to like bring aid into Venezuela or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it turns out they were trying to smuggle weapons in the aid trucks.
Yeah. So wow, that's So scare the pants. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair to say. Probably won't work. To monitor U.S. military activity in the region.
Well, I'll put it to you like this: if it were the case that a large contingent of the Venezuelan armed forces and their generals were standing by to ready to do a coup right now, I mean, they would have done that by now.
They would have done it. Yeah, I actually kind of don't get why there hasn't been one. I wonder what I wonder if the armed forces are. What is the interest of the armed forces to stand behind Maduro? I don't understand, actually. I don't know enough is the thing.
I don't know enough either, but yeah. I know what I can see, and what I can see is if it were the case that his position with the armed forces is so tenuous,
it'd be over already.
It would have been over by now. I mean, Venezuela, at least in the last 3 or 4 years, has been in utter chaos. Like I don't know what
the economic meltdown.
If there were such a large contingent of the armed forces that were ready to turn against the regime, I don't understand why they would have waited until now to do so.
Yeah, I agree, and
so I don't think this is gonna tip. I don't think this saber rattling is gonna tip over into anything.
No, and I think also the other thing is the best way to get people to rally behind an unpopular regime,
right,
is the threat of foreign invasion, especially by a invader who's seen as an arrogant and imperialist pig, which the U.S. is vis-a-vis Venezuela. It's going to stoke national pride and also just a sense of self-preservation, because being invaded by the world's largest military and having a civil war go off, foreign invasion and civil war is not going to be good for anyone. And I think anyone with like 10 functioning brain cells probably recognizes that, right? So
unfortunately, the Venezuelan opposition only has 9 between all of them.
Yeah,
they will open the door to these people.
Well, I mean, the Nobel Prize winner this year is like beyond cringe. Machado.
Yeah,
Uh,
much.
it's just beyond cringe. Like she's like praised Netanyahu. She offered the prize to Trump. She she was like on one of the Trump kids podcasts being like, "Forget Iraq, Venezuela has way more oil." It's like, what kind of fucking gusano? Just no self-respect as a Venezuelan. Like, please come, America, take my resources. Just
Yeah.
enslave me and take all of my resources. It's like, what the? No
That's
self-respect, man.
it's
Just the
disgusting.
Nobel Prize is just it
I
really.
mean,
I mean, already it has a tenuous reputation in terms of
right.
the Peace
But
Prize.
in this particular case, it seems pretty obvious what they're trying to do with the prize right now.
Yeah, but it's also like egregious. Like there have
Oh
been
yeah.
I mean, Obama getting it while drone striking half of Pakistan was already egregious, but this is just another like just epic fail. So yeah. Anyways, back to our yeah. I mean, so no. Also, that's the other thing, right? The regime will only collapse if there's also some popular support for the opposition, and I'm sure there is some middle. I'm sure there is a lot of middle
Well,
class and petty bourgeois and bourgeois
yeah,
support of the um
the opposition.
of the opposition and of idiots like her. But are they a militant force? No, I don't. Are they going to form popular militias? Are they going to? No, they're not. They're not dynamic in that way. Um, so the military is the largest unrelated to disaster relief when it sent 2 aircraft carriers and more than 20,000 troops to Haiti to take part in Operation Uphold Democracy. My God, that's like that's America's way of like doing humanitarian relief in Haiti,
Yeah,
invading it
export,
again,
exporting death and destruction
just for the upteenth time
constantly.
invading Haiti. Jesus Christ. Yeah, 14 at least 14 strikes.
Oh,
Wow.
so I undercounted.
Yeah, we undercounted, killing
I've lost
61.
I've lost track. That's how
Yeah,
many times they've been blowing up boats.
but that also, yeah, exactly. That kind of tells you just like how they're just wantonly fucking killing people. Increased tensions with, I mean, this is hardly worth writing. Blowing up Venezuelans off the coast of Venezuela.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I mean,
Wonderful piece of writing.
I can't imagine why they wouldn't be cool with that.
Yeah, what a wonderful piece of writing. Truly informative, much knowledge. So,
But like what's the role of the UN in all this? What has the UN been doing? Have they have they passed even a token resolution condemning this?
I don't know. Let's see. I mean, probably not.
I mean, just for the sake of appearances, they should do that. But I guess not even everyone. No one gives a shit about international
I mean,
laws.
you get UN. UN urges restraint in southern Caribbean, escalates tensions with Venezuela.
Brother, I think we're beyond urging restraint. I think you should
Yeah.
pass a binding fucking resolution at this point.
Yeah.
Not that that wouldn't do any. Not that that would do anything, but do something, please.
Assistant Secretary General Yenka briefs the Security Council on threats to international peace and security. Mr. Yenka stated that Washington had defended its actions as consistent with the laws governing armed conflict.
How?
And necessary to protect American citizens from the flow of illicit drugs from South and Central America. How? Okay, like both points are absolutely moot, but the first one is insulting. He's insulting the intelligence of everyone present there. God, also the irony of this fucking saber rattling bullshit when like Trump tried to do his whole based nationalism thing of like we're not gonna do regime change and
right his whole promise that he kept for 5 minutes about
for 5 fucking minutes
any
of
new wars.
And what's Tulsi Gabbard and all this crap? Remember what the hell she said? Probably nothing. To stop the scourge of narco-terrorism that has resulted in the needless death of innocent Americans. They do realize that you can't just like bomb every drug dealer to like get rid of the underlying problems of massive drug addiction, right? which is fundamentally a social problem and not simply a problem of the antisociality in criminal behavior, right? Like there's a deeper problem that you have to address that, ironically enough, Trump kind of campaigned sort of recognizing in a
Well,
mystified fashion, but that now he's just like, we'll just shoot all the drug dealers, like literal 12-year-old thinking.
the U.S. state gives these drug cartels their raison d'être. Like the
Yeah,
fact that the entire drug market is geared towards supplying Americans with
yeah,
illegal drugs. So,
yeah,
I mean, the thing started to begin with as a way of funding covert CIA
yeah. I mean, let's
operations.
be honest. The role of the Americans in the drug trade of the CIA and of the U.S. military, um, I mean, the recent book on the Fort Bragg cartel uh, documents pretty well how, by Seth Harp, excellent book. I almost finished it, but it basically recounts how the top level of the U.S. military are engaged in slinging drugs and selling drugs, and even when it comes to things like heroin, 95 or 90+% of the world's heroin comes from Afghanistan, and it's smuggled out of Afghanistan and ends up in the U.S. How? Like the U.S. military was there for decades. They permitted the growth of opiates. They had to, because if you make it illegal, you basically kill the livelihood of so many people in Afghanistan in the rural areas, and then they turn against you. So they
When I,
like openly permitted the growth of poppy, the production of heroin. And how does it get out? The U.S. literally occupied the country for 20 years, and it's not coming from Mexico. People know that. The FDA or whatever the fuck it's called, or it reports, or whoever reports that, oh, it's all coming from Mexico. It's not. People know that. Anyone with a brain knows that. I mean, the role of the U.S., of the CIA, of the U.S. military, and the drug trade is
right.
I mean, what's that movie? I love that movie. Another example in kind of in popular culture. What's that movie? Is it American Gangster
Yeah.
with
Is it the
Denzel?
one with
Yeah,
Denzel Washington?
yeah. I mean, you see that the GIs they're smuggling fucking horse, right? They're smuggling heroin, and that through Marseille and shit, and getting and pumping it into the U.S. Uh, so it's like, yeah, I mean, so not only does America create the market in conducting an asinine, self-defeating war on drugs, whatever the hell that means, right? But then it very actively, agents within the U.S. state have very actively worked to set up those drug pipelines, to build that, to supply that drug market. So it's just levels of stupidity and just
I mean,
showmanship. And
levels of stupidity and public ignorance and historical amnesia. Like
yeah,
people
yeah,
don't people don't realize that like the problem that they're trying to create is the one that they created in the first place.
yeah.
It all
Whether
feeds back into
indirectly,
itself.
whether indirectly or directly, right? And that's not even to talk about the fact that we have literal legal heroin that's been sold and pushed by big
Right,
pharma, by companies like, how many hundreds of thousands of heroin addicts started off with the Percocet prescribed to them by their doctor, who was basically being bribed by Purdue Pharmacy to
right.
give anyone and their grandmother Percocet in order to deal with a stub toe or whatever, right? I mean, I don't know if people remember that excellent like investigation by one of the few times the New Yorker did anything, where they investigated kind of the role of Purdue Pharma in lying to people and in bribing doctors to overprescribe Percocet and stuff like that. Well, that was also a source of massive amounts of opiate addiction. And those opiate addicts, they're going to stop taking Percocet. They're eventually going to go to, um,
They're
they're
gonna get their hands on whatever they can
yeah.
find.
And meanwhile, the Sacklers, after how many decades, finally face some justice.
Right.
But I was walking by a building in the Smithsonian area in DC the other day, and there was a Sackler building, and the name is still up there. For a very long time, I think it was the Met had the Sackler name up there. And come on. You got the biggest drug dealers in the world, and they're being paraded as heroes
So
in
that
the
we
top cultural institutions of the US.
yeah.
So it's like on every level, it's just the hypocrisy and stupidity, and it's frustrating.
It does show that the perversity of our society,
Yeah, it
where
does.
the government's stated goal here is to go after President Maduro, the biggest drug lord in Venezuela, apparently, and yet the biggest drug lords in the world are the pharmaceutical industry here, the
Yeah,
Sackler family, and the people
yeah.
who have turned an entire generation of people
Into
just
just
into drug
yeah,
addicts.
into heroin addicts. And that's not even to get into the deeper thing of we live in a capitalist society where everyone is alienated. No one feels at home in their reality. And the relations of competition and commodity relations have become so powerful in framing our subjective experience that the way we have all kinds of compensations, whether it's religion or drugs or and so I mean on every level this is a problem generated or allowed to be a problem by the ruling class. And meanwhile, they want to go after fucking, what the fucking bomb the Sacklers then. I don't know what to tell you. Like, anyways, yeah. So building up Caribbean bases. So are occurring with the former Roosevelt Roads base where crews are upgrading taxiways. Okay, well, I mean, it's basically what you would think. Look, here's your tax dollars, hard at work, blowing up probably what are fishermen off the coast of
Yeah, more than likely.
and if they're drug dealers with
Well,
up to five
if they're drug dealers, they're welcome to present their evidence.
yeah. Also, it's like if those boats are like as big as I think, like how much drugs is that? It's not that much drugs. Like you're like it's like a drop in the ocean. So you just kill people because they have 10 pounds of cocaine on them. Like the the American right wing, they have like 12-year-old brains. You know what I'm saying? Like they have like the like kind of like Hammurabi's code style notion of justice, which is like what you would expect out of like an aggro 12-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, if this is your idea of like drug trafficking interdiction, then yes, you have the brain of a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
This is not.
exactly.
This is not even by its own stated objectives will not work.
Yeah, it won't do anything. Um, it was simply repairing potholes. Come on, shut up. What the fuck? What? Okay, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this. I mean, basically, what Hernandez Roy is not saying is, um, this is a return to this is Monroe Doctrine. Like, if it's not meant to just fuck with Venezuela, it's Monroe Doctrine. Big stick bullshit. Okay, yeah.
So see some drones there. I guess they're fixing up this Air Force base in Puerto Rico.
I mean, okay, it's basically just a bunch of at this point, it's basically just a bunch of logistics. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's good evidence though that
Yeah.
they're building something up.
Yeah, they're definitely building air power.
But not just building something up; they're preparing for an imminent operation. Like these things are usually done because they're preparing to do something with it, not just in case.
Yeah, and I mean this is really the quote worth looking at. While the end game of the massive buildup is not yet clear, the pieces are in place for operations inside Venezuela. Something President Donald Trump suggested last Thursday. The land is going to be next. Okay, here's also something. They can do all this buildup. They do realize that Venezuela has a large military that is equipped by Russia and that battleships and shit like that are sitting ducks for missiles And if they really do try some shit, like, it's going to be very costly for the US, because if they land anything in Venezuela, any armed troops, it's it's not going to it's going to be like, they're not going to have a good time of it. Venezuela is jungle, it's mountainous. Um, there's a lot of popular militias. There will be a lot of popular mobilization. And history shows the US does not do well in mountainous, jungled areas where there's popular resistance. It's called fucking Vietnam, right? And that was despite the fact that the Americans unleashed genocidal fury on the Vietnamese people, up to and including indiscriminate bombing, the use of white phosphorus, Agent Orange, et cetera, et cetera. So, um, yeah, I'm sure the military is. I'm sure, like, the intelligent people in the military are freaking out. Like, we can't land invade Venezuela. It's not like,
Well, there's probably two parts to this. There's probably the part that Trump is pantomiming, which is aggressive, kinetic military action. And then there's the part that is actually working behind the scenes, which is some sort of covert operation
yeah,
within Venezuela in order to
yeah,
create a pretext for
yeah,
some sort of uprising or a split in the armed forces.
yeah.
And then that can lead to, like, basically the invitation of U.S. expeditionary forces into Venezuela somehow. That's what I imagine is going on. They're trying to create some sort of pretext, whether it's, a coup, a false flag, some sort of uprising, whatever the case may be. I think that's what they're actually aiming for.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're definitely right. It, I- part, they might just be so stupid that they think, like, if we just park big guns in front of their house, it'll fall apart and people will rise up and overthrow the government. Maybe they're that stupid.
That has historically been a thing that has occurred. But in this case, I don't think it's going to work because for the reasons that we said,
Americans are too hated. That's the
it,
thing.
it's hated, but it's not an unpopular regime. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's like everyone will die for Maduro, but it's obviously not an unpopular regime. If it were, they would have toppled out of inertia a long time ago.
Yeah, if it were a deeply, 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 deeply unpopular, if there were no basis to it,
If
popular
it were,
basis, it
if it
wouldn't
were
exist.
right, it would have ended in 2020 with the
Like,
Guaido
people have to
episode.
understand, this is something that, like, the punditocracy, and all the dumb American liberals don't understand, is that you can only repress so far. There's only, in quite, like, literal terms, so many people that you can hire or engage to repress a population. Repression only goes so far. So unless there's something like a popular basis to a regime, it's not going to perdure. It's not going to last. And whatever the negatives of the Maduro regime, it has a popular basis. There are still elements that are loyal to it beyond just the armed forces. Um, that's
I
not
mean, it is
that's not a normative statement on my part. That's
no.
not. I'm not saying that's good or that's bad. But it's the case.
It is the result of a revolutionary process.
Yeah.
It did come out of a revolutionary process. I mean, as far as that goes, one could argue, the merits of that. But there are still people around who remember that and who still subscribe to that, at least as a
Yeah,
revolutionary process.
and it's worth looking at Venezuela. I think it's called Venezuela Analysis.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's a good site.
it's a great site. I mean, it's going to be evidently it's going to tilt one way. um, but I had mentioned last time that there was these articles that I got obsessed with by Mark Westbro at the Center for Economic Policy Research, CEPR, on Venezuela. And I think it's him and Jeffrey Sachs who wrote these. But there's, uh, they're academic papers on the economic situation. They're pieces of they're political economy, and I used to read them quite closely, and it's been many years since I have. But if anyone wants to kind of understand the economic crisis, where it comes from and why it got so bad, it is worth looking at those. It is worth looking at those articles, and maybe one of these days we'll have someone on to talk about not just economics, but more importantly, sort of the Bolivarian revolutionary process. I think, unfortunately, some of our major influences like McNair are quite dismissive of the Bolivarian Revolution, of people like Hugo Chavez. But I think the truth, at least for me, is I don't know enough, and it's been a while since I've looked into it. But when I was looking into it, I was quite impressed with a lot of what they had achieved, and it's really sad to see how badly it regressed. And
Yes, it's gone through some tough times.
Yeah, I mean, tough times is an understatement. It's suffered basically the worst economic collapse in the 20 in the 20 for definitely the 21st, but also the 20th century and 20th century capitalism. So, yeah, it's a fucking disaster. The From what I remember, the economic crisis had to do with uh, quote unquote internal factors. That is, the Venezuelan economy entered into recession.
Well,
And
what do you refer, like, what time period are you referring to?
I'm referring to the beginnings of the crisis. So I guess this would be
I mean,
18. Is that 2000?
2018.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, I would argue the roots of its crisis go back to the fact that it's extremely dependent on petroleum
Oh,
exports,
yes.
and
I mean, that's
the price of petroleum has gone on a protracted decline in the last few years.
no,
That's
yeah,
that's most of where their revenue comes from.
absolutely. But I remember, so I mean, so that, and that's not the fault of the Venezuelan regime, but you can always, of course, react certain ways macroeconomically, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
And there was certain features of the Venezuelan economy that made it very, very hard to react. And I don't know how significant it was, but I remember reading something about their foreign exchange, like their foreign currency
yeah.
exchange program, which was total nonsense and did harm to the economy. So, in other words, there was contingent factors outside the control of the regime. The regime also, the features of the economy were such, and of the regime's relation to the economy were such, that made it very difficult to respond. And then everything got made, that much worse by the economic warfare conducted by the US, right? Which has made it basically impossible for the Venezuelan economy to fully recover. It's just to say that, like, there's a kind of simplistic narrative that it's all the sanctions, and
Right.
unfortunately, that's not true. You have to look critically at what happened, and
the
but I
sanctions certainly don't help.
yeah,
But it is, as you're saying, like the Venezuelan economy is limited, and decisions that have been made in the last 20 years by the Chavez administration and also Maduro's administration have led to certain constraints on
yeah.
economic, like what they can actually do.
It's definitely worth looking at this Center for Economic Policy Research, Mark Westbro's articles on Venezuela's economic performance. Let me just show one of them.
Yeah,
Let me just show one of them because it's.
I mean, ultimately, it's going to be hard to do much without, well, with a constantly devaluing currency and no access to foreign investment. And it's even worse when your government doesn't undertake the investment needed to actually
Yeah.
produce
So
productive infrastructure.
one of the things that I always I'm always like a stickler about when I read these kinds of reports is like, how do you get this data? This, unfortunately,
The National Institute for Statistics in Venezuela.
yeah. And I would say the same thing about, by the way, like the Bureau of Labor Statistics, huh? Like, I'm not saying that. It's kind of like,
It's a little different though, because at least in the U.S., they do need to publish accurate statistics. It doesn't help them to lie.
well, it doesn't help Venezuela. It helps no one to lie about economic facts. There's basically no situation in the long term where lying about economic indicators is a good thing, right?
No, it's not good. But what I'm saying is, for the U.S. at least, they really can't afford to do that, considering how robust their capital markets are. You can't have people. At least finance isn't gonna be able to do that.
Listen, listen. One of the things that makes this look.
But I also think it's overstated. Like,
Yo, I
I'm
think
sure they fudged the numbers, but I'm not.
no, but look, they're also, if they're fudging the numbers, they're fucking with themselves, right? Right, because they see a reduction in the first few years, but then they see an increase. But that was also around the economic instability with you remember when Bush tried to throw a coup d'état
Right.
at Chavez, so there was a lot of instability in that period. What I'm trying to say is like they're reporting negative numbers during the Chavez years.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like they're like, look, everything's great. They're being very clear. So to measure, but without, does not make any. It's like comparing fault to the summer and concluding that there is no global warming. Okay, well that was literally one page. Okay, well this is not a good example of the kind.
It's not very in depth.
Yeah, that was not. I mean, I do recommend reading this guy. He is smart, from what I remember. Oh, Jeffrey Sachs is no slouch.
I think I read this one actually.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's worth. Yeah,
This was actually very useful. Like it does actually calculate the economic impact of sanctions and the impact on human life and all that.
Yeah, so I would, so unfortunately, I think we can both agree that neither of us are are experts on the Venezuelan economic situation. But if you were to want to get some good information, this is these guys are the place to go. At least
we should look into it more and come back and
we will. I think I agree. I definitely agree with that. Do we have, by the way, how can we check if people are interacting with us? Because we could just be ranting.
We might just be ranting. I mean, we did get someone in the chat, Jimmy Tyson. Hi,
Did
Jimmy.
we? Oh wait, where's the chat? Oh, you're in the chat. Okay.
You got to open the chat.
What? Yeah. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. Sorry, guys. So bear with me. I do random matrix theory, but I don't know.
We're just shouting at clouds right now.
Yeah.
We're just shouting at the clouds. But feel free to shout back if you're there.
So I think that that concludes anything fruitful I have to say about Venezuela.
Well, yeah, we'll keep an eye on the Venezuela situation.
Yeah, I mean,
it's certainly set. Things are going to happen. They're certainly planning on it for the next few months. So,
and let's be very clear about what our position should be.
Yeah,
hands off Venezuela.
Absolutely.
Don't brook 1 inch.
Stop. No imperialist intervention. No support for an imperialist intervention.
Stop debating about the merits of Maduro or not, because that's actually not the issue. That's a cover to justify their imperialist aggression.
Talking to UAOC.
Yeah. So get to the root of the problem. And this is something that we on the left have to understand. Sometimes don't even answer their question. Just turn it back on them and make it about the actual key issue. Because if someone is trying to get you to debate a distraction, no matter how good their argument is, it's still a distraction. Go to the root of the issue, right? The root of the issue is they want to invade Venezuela, to hack that country apart and sell its pieces to the lowest bidder, right? Or the highest bidder, whatever, just to the bidder. So yeah, hands off Venezuela. Let's talk about another lovely topic.
more conspiracies.
I know that Donald is.
I'm sad to be missing Donald for this one.
Yeah, Donald is like, that meme of the guy like freaking out with his eyes bulging out, like trying to contain him. That's.
I'll be right back.
That's Donald right now, because we're gonna be talking about Epstein. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let me just
man, the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein keeps haunting us. This guy will not die.
Yeah, he's 1 second. That was stupid of me. Just wanted to... Okay, yeah, this guy will, I mean, he won't die, but nothing gets done about it. It's like,
yeah, but they're also in a pickle because doing something about it would disintegrate the U.S. political class.
yeah, it really
Everyone
would, man.
realizes everyone's in bed with the guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is also why socialists should be in power, because we could fucking grill them all, and not have to worry about, quite frankly, if we have any pedo people in our fucking midst, then so be it, and just fuck them up. I don't, I mean, anyways. Yeah, so on to the lovely topic of Mr. Pedophile.
That's Mr. Pedophile to you.
Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein and the Mossad, how the sex trafficker helped Israel build a back channel to Russia amid Syrian civil war. I swear, we really are living just...
It's all the worst people you know.
Yeah, I mean...
in one big circled Venn diagram.
I swear to God, like, I'm, like, in a fever dream. Like, every time when I read shit like this, I have to just pinch myself to make sure I'm not in a fever dream. Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein facilitated efforts to open a back channel between Israel and the Kremlin during the Syrian civil war. Okay, according to leaked emails from former Israeli prime... Oh, by the way, Ehud Barak, did you hear what one of the Epstein victims reported on him?
No, what did they say? What did old
Virginia? Virginia. I apologize if I get her name wrong. Virginia Giuffre.
I think
she was a victim of the Epstein network, and she wrote a memoir in which she alleged that a well-known prime minister, trigger warning, brutally beat her. It was an attack so savage it pushed her to escape Epstein's sex trafficking network, the teenager claimed. It's in her posthumous memoir, Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice. Geoffrey referred to her abuser only as the prime minister, saying she feared he would seek to hurt her if she named him. In past court filings, she had accused former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak of her, an allegation he has repeatedly denied. She committed suicide. She published this memoir and she committed suicide. And it's just, I mean, what do you even say? I mean, it's just... So, yeah, Ehud Barak, Israeli prime minister, is a rapist and total piece of shit. Surprise there. Yeah. So that's what had been reported recently about Prime Minister Ehud Barak. So the trove of emails exchanged at the height of the Syrian civil war between 2013 and 2016 reveal Epstein's successful efforts to secure a private meeting between Barak and Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss a Russian brokered end of the conflict, including winning Russian support from a negotiated removal of Syrian president. Resource, who has also served as head of intelligence throughout his career. Okay, yeah, that is just so sketchy. He was a resource for a guy who was the head of security for a long time.
Yeah.
Intelligence, yeah, okay. And even advising him on how to engage with the Mossad. Wait, who? I'm a bit confused by it. It's kind of some weird writing. I don't know. Do you get what they're saying there?
From within.
Or the interlocutors?
It sounds kind of like he's saying that Epstein was a valuable resource for the Russians on how to engage with Mossad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. Or Putin's interlocutors. Fresh out of his role as Israeli defenseman, built a deep portfolio of investments in business with Epstein's help. Jesus Christ.
so the interesting thing is no one can still no one knows how this guy made his money still.
Well, this is how. Together sought to pressure the Obama to either directly or make concessions to the Kremlin in exchange for Assad's graceful.
Graceful.
Bro, Iran is not the problem, right, in the world. I'm sorry. It's really not. Yeah, because Putin was probably like, get these creeps out of my face. Wrote in his Israel's told to avoid being perceived as a player in Syria. I mean, obviously, yeah, because the moment you are, you consolidate support for whoever is, you know. I mean, the Israelis definitely help some crazy fucking jihadis. We know that.
So essentially, what this is saying is that Epstein was a big part of this backdoor negotiation about Syria between between Russia and I guess Israel.
Yeah, and I doubt that it. You know, I think it's fair to say that if he's already doing backdoor shit around Syria, it's not his first time. Like, it's not like Ehud like out of nowhere. It's like, yo, man, I really need.
Right.
You know, I heard you like met Putin's secretary or whatever. You know, and I really need your help now.
It just seems like Epstein was a kind of.
He's
like
really.
Like an intelligence gun for hire. Like basically he's like a freelance intelligence asset.
Well, I mean, the claim for there's some I wish Donald was here. He could go into the lore of it. But, I think that there's a hypothesis that he was effectively a Shin Bet operator or a Mossad agent or operator.
Well, this seems to strengthen that.
This certainly seems. I mean, if this is true, if these emails are the leaked emails, which I'm sure they are, because Dropsite they're good journalists. Then yeah, I mean, this is strong evidence that he worked with Israeli intelligence in some capacity.
So the idea here is he worked with Israeli intelligence, but without the knowledge of American intelligence. He was doing this on his own.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, what else? Why else would they go? Why else would he go to Barack to then petition Obama? Which, by the way, I didn't know that. Why would Obama ever listen to this guy? Right?
Who, Epstein?
Yeah,
because he was Epstein.
Well, I know, but like I'm just saying, in a normal world, that
yeah. Well,
like, what is he doing listening to anything this guy has to say? The only interaction you should have with that guy is to punch him square in the face.
Well, I'm sure the thinking involved for intelligence people is like, just because he diddles kids doesn't mean he can't get us in a meeting with so and so.
Yeah, that's unfortunately very much the leak from the same blah 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 released by the hackers known as Handala and disseminated by distributed denial of secrets, extensive, unpublished, and photographs, including non-public drop site. Independently validated by records released by the U.S. House Oversight Committee this month. Okay, so okay, good. They did their due diligence. I was sure they did because Dropsite are good journalists. Elite and quasi officials to promote, secure, enrich his circle of friends and companions. With the highest of stakes, a chaotic war and the balance of power between the United States. There's a request for comment. Epstein died in jail in New York. Yeah, he died. He suicided himself. He got suicided. By the way, donate to Dropsite. This shit is not paywalled. Let's not abuse it. Let's actually make sure that these people can have a living and continue doing the good work they do. Shout out to them. They really do great work. They're like they're basically a glorified Substack, and they're like the only American journalists who have any access to the Hamas leadership, which if you're a journalist, eventually you do have to interview them, whatever you think about them. I mean, as a journalist, you have to do that. In fact, they break stories before Trump even knows about it. It's crazy. Great journalists. The Kremlin holds the keys. Okay. Are you awake? If yes, pull call.
I love how they text like teenagers.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, dude, for real.
Jeff, please don't share the info with any of our friends.
Who are our friends? That's so
Our
creepy, dude.
friends in the Mossad.
Yeah, bro.
So this is just like describing a back channel, basically, between
Yeah,
Ehud Barak and Vladimir Putin.
yeah.
The history books in like 50 years from now are gonna be crazy.
Yeah, you're
If they
gonna
ever declassify this Epstein stuff,
dude, you literally can't make this like
it's gonna so much is gonna so much crazy stuff is
novelists
gonna come out.
novelists dream of inventing such stories, you know?
Like,
Uh,
how deep does this rabbit hole? Because you
I
know that we're just looking at the most superficial
yeah,
event
I know.
horizon of it.
I don't even know. There's a reason things like QAnon fester, right? Sought to use one of I love how like this is some manufacturing consent shit, just straight up to frame Israel's around the Syrian war and telegraph a framework for peace talks. Okay, whatever. Uh, yeah. Well, they were right about that. I mean, I don't know. Nothing is truly inevitable in history, but it was a matter of not weeks, but of years.
Yeah.
Many, many,
Well,
many years.
well, let's be fair, because maybe fair is the weird word to use, but the Syrian civil war was like in stasis for years until
Years.
suddenly, for like the last month of it,
Yeah.
suddenly like you know, they got their, I guess parts of the opposition got their shit together. And I think it's because they got like backup from like the Taliban or something, right?
No, 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 not the Taliban. That's way off.
Well, yeah, sure,
Turkey.
but
I mean, it's
I can't keep the fucking factionalism of
Tahrir
Islamic
al-Sham. Yeah,
straight, bro.
Tahrir
Come on now.
al-Sham is I think they're basically Al Qaeda.
Well, that's what I
And
was thinking. Then it was
yeah,
like it's some sort of faction of
yeah. I
Islamic
mean,
Jihad or something.
Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Yeah, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham.
But the point
No,
is
it's originated from Jabhat al-Nusra.
okay, all right, that makes more sense.
Jolani, yeah,
Right, right. This is HTS,
Zinki,
right?
yeah. It was
But
formerly it was an Al Qaeda affiliate.
there we go. It's Al Qaeda,
Yeah.
not the Taliban.
Anyway, so yeah, it's
But the point is that the civil war was doing nothing for like years until that last month when suddenly HTS became like the dominant faction of the.
well. I mean, I think it was just like just someone needed to push a coordinated effort because the Assad regime at that point was just a corpse, right? It was just a bloated corpse.
I mean, it was something was ready to kick it
It
in.
was just so incredibly degraded through corruption and brutality, and it had basically very little support, and it was not difficult to destroy. Anyways, um, recognizing to discuss concerns about stock falling into the hands of Hezbollah and or Sunni militants, Israel escalated its operations in late January and conducted blah blah blah. I mean, it's incredible. Also, Assad really fucking betrayed the Iranians. Um, yeah. Well, he got what
Hmm.
But Assad still refused to bend, and Hezbollah's gains on Israel's borders. Iran's banned, blah, blah, blah. Study, write, live, and enjoy. Yeah, okay, you pervert, I'm sure. Instead, he immediately began working to conduct covert diplomatic work in support of Israeli security interests with Viktor Vekselberg, a Russian Israeli and owner of a multinational conglomerate, Renova Group. Barak offered his services as a strategic consultant to Renova. Global mining and energy one is access to powerful. Yeah, I love how these dudes just get like sinistures, just like bullshit
Yeah,
consultant. It's just so that they can just. It's just
like
so that the company can get access to the people this guy knows. He doesn't have to
exactly.
fucking do anything.
Just like pay me so that I can lobby.
Yeah, it's another form of corruption. Um, abreast of every on his courtship with Vexelberg. Okay, I'm sure they honeypotted this guy with
With the Epstein
the Epstein trick,
escorts
right?
or
I'm
whatever.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure they got him on video doing something. The surface of Epstein worked on a covert plan with the support regime change. The Israeli military. What?
Regime change for
I
who?
just can't get over the fact that
In
we were reading.
Syria?
I just can't get over the fact that we were reading an article about this fucking pedophile, like king pedophile, doing top level secret diplomatic work to overthrow the Syrian regime. What reality am I in? I swear to God, I am dreaming.
Yeah. You're not.
I
You're in a
like.
living nightmare.
I know. I'm. This is. I'm reading a living nightmare. With the support regime change, the Israeli often described as emotionally handicapped. I think that's a fucking euphemism.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
light.
think you could say he's a monster. It's not that he's handicapped. He's a fucking devil. He's a monster. Do not go to number one too quickly.
Wait, what? The euphemism number one is a moniker used to refer to the head of the Mossad.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
just a lot of corruption going on, a lot of casual corruption, some like graft.
Thorg Bjorn Jagland. Then you got the fucking Swedes or some shit in on it.
Most Swedish name ever.
Yeah. Sweden McSwegenborg. In Sochi. No, I think is that
So Sochi's in Russia.
yeah. Yeah. Can structure deals in order to blah 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 with Epstein to cut deals. This is long as shit, bro. Do these people know how to write? You can use punctuation.
Bro, we have autocorrect.
Like just write a proper fucking.
Like if you still write like you suffered a stroke with autocorrect,
yeah,
you're
Jesus.
hopeless.
Like, do they understand what capital letters are? Like, come on, man. It's not that hard. Like, it's how much time are you gonna save? Actually, you don't save any time by writing this shit incorrectly, by the way. This to pitch a talk to give at the Allens a summer camp for billionaires. Oh my god. That could shape the narrative for a Russian-led transition in Syria. So it seems like Epstein was kind of also like his PR man.
Like Epstein was doing PR for Barack.
Yeah.
Barack. Yeah, this does seem that way. So what's the idea here? Like, was the idea here that Israel could broker some sort of rapprochement between the U.S. and Russia and Syria?
It's kind of obvious. He's just his PR man and his fucking backdoor to the Russians.
No, I get that, but like, what is the Israelis' interest in brokering? I mean, aside from the obvious thing, like, why? I don't understand why they chose to do it like this. Is my question.
Well, I mean, first off, the Assad regime, even though it isn't actually a threat to Israel is not the ideal regime that the Israelis want in Syria, right? They're actually very happy right now with what they have. Another example of how, in some ways, they're winning the regional war. In fact, they are. I think it's fair to say. But the Assad regime was seen like something like a thorn in their side. So if you can get rid of it, do what you can and use whatever means to get rid of it, including getting the Russians to just stop backing him. And but it's true. I mean, why don't they?
Yeah, but I understand all that. But why Ehud Barak, who at this point was out of the government, who was not the prime minister?
Well, it seems like he's kind of doing this on his own initiative, and this is his way of getting diplomatic, of getting a backdoor channel is through Epstein, right? I wonder how much other elements of the Israeli state were involved. We haven't really seen anything.
According to the article, it seems that Ehud Barak had gone through great pains to keep the Israeli state in the dark about a lot of what he was doing.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way, right? Was Russia's looming of advanced systems, including blah, 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 which threatened to further Israel's enemies, and the weeks Israel began escalating conducting wire strikes as soon as possible. Okay, so I mean, I think it's this. I think it's a huge part of it.
Yo, Epstein can't even write. He's supposed to be a.
No, I think this is Barak writing.
Well, no, underneath it says, as typical of Epstein's style, he sent back a rough cut riddled with spelling and grammatical errors. That's what I was kind of laughing at. So this guy's supposed to be a genius, but he can't fucking write.
Blah, blah, blah. My God. This is I'm not reading this shit. Wow. Okay. Somewhat less brilliant text. You think that's brilliant? That's like a shitty Facebook post.
I've seen better. I've seen better on Left Book.
Bro, we've written much better on Left Book. God. Apparently you can make a lot of money being a total moron.
Well, depends on, how much dirt you can generate on people.
Yeah, that's, I'm good. I don't ever want to do anything resembling what this piece of shit did. But we feel that the key part of the piece is left vague, is only an appealing for us if the mechanics are blah, 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 and an experience. So I have no doubt he has something specific in mind. What does he think the price will be?
What is this guy talking about? Stalin? Why does he mention Stalin?
I guess his reticence to react, or his hesitation to react to Operation Barbarossa. But the analogy is grotesque because
it doesn't quite make any sense to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, militarily makes no sense because the Palestinians, first off, they're it's a nuclear armed power versus a civilian population where if there is armed resistance, it's small arms, right? And like homemade missiles. Like, so it's just like the Nazis were a fucking military juggernaut. Like, anyways, it doesn't matter. What's the point of even debate? He's an idiot. I don't even know what he's talking about. I can't make sense of what he's writing. The specific post by wrote to his post, tell them they can get a full of blah, blah, blah. To the top players. Upon returning to the Russian presidency, I didn't know he left.
I mean, formally he did.
Yeah, I know.
He
What was the
stepped down
guy?
and became prime minister. But
What's
yeah,
the guy? What's his fucking Medvedev or something?
yeah, Medvedev. Yeah,
Yeah, apparently he's like a
Dmitry.
drunk. Apparently he's a total drunk.
Yeah,
Like
he was
Yeltsin level drunk.
he was an
Uh,
absolute fucking just like a tool that they put in front of him.
yeah, he's such a tool. Uh, Widespread street protests, which he claimed by external agents funded by U.S.-backed NGOs.
I mean, probably not. He's not wrong entirely. That's a very bare minimum of what you expect in a situation like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Western NGOs fomenting, this unrest. Yeah, like that's pretty fucking obvious that that's happening.
This is another nightmarish statement.
Close to former President Bill Clinton. Yeah, some would say too close.
Oh my god.
Often flew to Moscow to see Vlad. So he
He's
was
like
friends
bragging.
with Putin,
I
basically.
love how he's bragging about just doing a legal capital flight. Like, oh my god. Bro, there'll be rappers who like rap about how they killed one guy and then they get in trouble. This motherfucker is literally bragging to journalists that he does like illegal like capital flight. It's like,
He helps people do high level tax evasion.
yeah, like just social murder, It's like, oh my god. International the next month that I meet him in St. Vincent. What? It is nuts that this guy also this is just why? Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
He's a shadowy money man who no one can tell you how he made his money. That's why he had so many friends.
God.
It's pretty easy to get access to anybody if your whole thing is that, I make a lot of money.
John Kerry?
Yeah, that's John Kerry.
What the fuck is John Kerry doing?
Wasn't he like the ambassador to
Why would you go to Henry Kissinger's 90th birthday?
Secretary of State, that's what
except for to protest it and or shoot him. I'll attend doctor. Also, stop calling him doctor, okay? Jesus.
Wait, who's the doctor?
Kissinger.
What is he a doctor of?
Fucking doctor in international relations, bro. Like, come on. I'm sorry. Like, even if you have like a doctorate in physics or in fucking philosophy or in some shit, just don't like who goes around calling themselves doctor. I don't know. Unless you're a real fucking doctor that does doctor shit.
Netanyahu's wife. You saw that
Yeah,
Doctor, PhD, psychology,
MD, PhD.
A fucking nut job.
Just a total lunatic.
All right, so I think we're getting the gist of this reporting here, which is deep connections apparently between Epstein, the intelligence services of Israel, and Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. Damn, he's really going hard on the St. Petersburg shit. Okay. I mean, it's more of the same. It's really more. I think it's.
They're pretty detailed, and they did a lot of work here.
He's a political fixer who arranged access to senior political figures with the goal of advancing Israeli national interests, often in direct contradiction to the United States national security strategy. Doesn't that make him a traitor? Isn't that like by law? I don't know, man. Like, the Americans make no sense with this shit. The U.S. agreed on new blah 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 against the preferences of the as well as Epstein's own expert. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, at the very least, it makes them the agent of a foreign power. like at the very least.
The only language you motherfuckers understand is force. Then you're constantly saying that shit about Arabs and Iranians. God, the most violent fucking country in the world, and they're gonna fucking talk shit like that. Yeah, good. So you can't fucking invade them and destroy their country.
Yeah, that's precisely why they want.
Yeah, I wonder why they want nukes. You have.
I mean, I imagine if Venezuela had a nuke, we wouldn't have been talking about what's happening there now.
I wonder if Gaddafi would be dead if he had continued building a nuke. Probably not. Economic Forum.
That I am not political. I just,
Who cares what this guy has to say about fucking zero interest rate? This guy.
Apparently he was kind of a moron in terms of that too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he doesn't know anything. Can't even write. Yeah, this is a key statement.
So this guy he was basically an Israeli intelligence asset.
Yeah. Yeah.
That much is pretty clear.
Or at least at a minimum, he has connections to people who were in Israeli intelligence.
I mean, you just read like I don't know how much of him being an Israeli intelligence.
You're right. I'm not. I stopped being coy. Yeah. Yeah, it's basically more of the same.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. An official would know over plenty of financial overs that he enticed and trapped and recorded them. Yeah. That's going a bit far. Yeah. Okay. Well, these are it's just a disaster. So there you have it. More or less confirmation that.
Well, like the article in case anybody wants to take a look. But it's a very it seems like a very thoroughly researched piece of journalism.
No, I mean, drop site is
they have receipts.
They're super fucking legit.
There's a timeline and a narrative in the published work. So
yeah, so check it out. Shout out to Drop Site. I mean, not that they know me, but they do great work. Honestly.
Yeah, they do.
Donate to them if you can. If you have a few extra bucks, you find some coins on the couch or whatever. So let's talk about the Mamdani meltdown. Let's see what we can find.
He hasn't even won yet. They gotta wait another day before melting down.
They've been melting down, my dude. Do you have some good Twitter shit to share?
I'm staying away from Twitter.
Yeah, I am too.
I try not to
riddle my brain with. But let's try to find some. I mean, it's probably pretty easy. Anything by Matt Walsh is gonna be awful.
I mean, any thread about Zoran, you're gonna find a bunch of.
I love this guy's fucking thing. Wait, I have to share this shit. It's just too good. Am I still sharing my screen? Yeah, I am. Okay,
I guess we should also mention we're gonna do a election stream.
Oh yeah. Check it out on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we will be doing a live stream of the election results, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will have not only Donald, Carlos, and I, but we will be joined by people who have worked on the Mamdani campaign, including Carlos. Can you fill me in on their names?
We have two DSA like people from New York. One of them is Holden, who's the tenant organizer, is also worked on the campaign, I think. But he'll come on to talk about like the thoughts of the organized tenant movement around some of what Mamdani is proposing, and we'll have Curtis, who is in New York City, one of the field leads uptown for the Zoran campaign, to talk about the experience of the campaign and what the expectations are here on out. Zoran. So
yeah,
it should be cool. We'll have some people on and they'll talk about their experiences with the campaign, and
yeah, it'll be good. Share with your friends. We will post about it, hopefully by tonight, and we'll keep advertising it over the next day. So, yeah, I mean, Matt Walsh, what can you say? Piece of shit. His title is literally theocratic fascist. Why is this guy writing anything for children? No one should listen to him. But I'm trying to find some shit on Mamdani because he's been going crazy about him. Where the hell is? Oh my god, this is just nothing but nothing. But
you gotta sign in. They're not gonna show you his like posts since you're not signed in.
yeah, I'm not signing in for this. Yeah,
is that fucking Hitler? Why is there a picture of Hitler here?
He's trying to make a joke like, oh, like Trump eats dinner, and also, what the fuck is Trump eating? Is he eating like a Tostito bowl or some shit? My god, that guy's fucking digestive system must be pure havoc.
Well, his GI tract must be perforated, bro.
Yeah, it must be awful. Like, it must be awful. Bro.
It must be just putrid in there.
Yeah. Even the gut flora are like, man, we can't do shit for you.
They're on strike.
Dude, we're fucked, dude. You fucking nuke this place. This shit is
his gut flora is asking for the U.S. to intervene.
Bro, his gut flora is in fucking Bikini Bottom. There's all kinds of mutated shit there. It's like that, when SpongeBob like goes down.
When he goes to like
that's what it's like, dude. So yeah, I mean, basically people have been freaking out. I need to find some Mamdani freak out posts because
just go to Twitter or go to X and just type Mamdani.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and let the algorithm do what it does best.
Trust me, I the 10 minutes I spend.
But my experience of Twitter lately has been like, anytime anyone mentions Zoran, immediately you get a deluge of bots that come in and tie him like just 9/11 over and over and over.
Bro,
that's their main thing is 9/11. Somehow.
Yeah, well,
he's connected to 9/11, even though he was like 12 when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, there's been they've been cranking up the Islam. I mean, I was telling Carlos, like, I just stopped going on Twitter because there's just so much Islamophobia that it was just.
Bro, like, I should show you an AI video that the Cuomo campaign has been sharing.
Oh, we're gonna show that one. Yeah, dude, that shit is.
Can you find it?
Let
me see if I can find it because it's crazy.
Got a fucking pimp called Slickback on that shit, dude. Let me find this shit.
But it's absolutely just the most like debased, disgusting forms of racial hatred and Islamophobia. And it makes no sense, bro, because it's
I'm sure they tried to take this shit down and it just didn't work. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen because
find that.
Zoran Mamdani's opponents want you to believe he's an inexperienced radical. more dangerous. But what do his actual supporters think?
Mamdani isn't crazy.
He's just trying to even the playing field.
You know, give everyone a fair shot. Sure, he said multiple times we need to defund the police, but that was just a metaphor.
Is that an
And
AI
yes, you did say
pimp?
crime is a social construct, but that was also a metaphor.
His main backer, the Democratic Socialists' ideas are common sense, such
Is that a
as
mugger?
Decriminalizing misdemeanors, like shoplifting.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
third-degree assault, trespassing, prostitution,
And drunk driving.
With plans to decriminalize all drugs, Mamdani will be a job creator for drug dealers.
Instead of helping us homeless get off the streets and into the mental health facilities we need, he wants to give us safe injection sites to do crack and let us sleep in subway cars.
These are actual policies Mamdani and the DSA want to implement on day one.
When a woman's being domestically abused, she finally won't have to deal with
So, did they really just put a black man wearing a keffiyeh breaking into shit? My God.
some pesky cop to arrest the abuser, but now a social worker to help, kumbaya the situation.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Mamdani is finally lowering jail sentences.
guilty!
But Mamdani says you're free to go. Who cares if legalizing prostitution statistically leads to an increase for sex trafficking of women and young girls by 70%?
That's
You
false.
can't have
That is
safety
that is completely false. I don't know where the fuck
without
they did that.
equality.
They got that from.
For unlawful abiding citizens like us, globalize the intifada.
I'm a criminal.
Well,
I'm a
the
criminal.
enchilada.
I'm a criminal.
I'm a criminal.
Yep. I'm a criminal.
For Zoran Mamdani.
I didn't have a real job until I was 30, but sure, give me the keys to the city. What's the worst that can happen?
Paid for by Cuomo for NYC.
That was just
Okay, so first of all, this is the most debased, unhinged hallucination of far-right anxieties I have ever seen in my life.
Dude, this is like
AI is actually useful for something. It gives us a peek into the disturbed world that these people inhabit.
that was. I mean, I watched it, but I'm rewatching it. That is just so unhinged, dude. It's unbelievable.
It's legit, bro. A laundry list of shit that they made up to be like afraid of.
Yeah, they're like it's like that that cartoon, the guy who makes the monsters, and then she's like, oh, yeah. I mean, it's
Also, just like on a basic level, the ad is bad.
oh yeah. It's
At
dog
several,
shit.
first of all, at several points, there's like a pimp in the
pimp
the
named
ad,
Slick- dude. There's literally a pimp named Slickback in that shit.
and then like one of the two of the people being interviewed were like criminals, I guess. But like,
yeah, man,
why are you interviewing criminals to talk about
while they're doing crime? It's just,
right? Like it's just strange.
it's really uncanny. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's very
And it's just got like that AI video kind of
right,
aura.
like
that's-
that gloss.
Yeah, it's like really. And did you notice that Mamdani's face was like evolving and wasn't his face? It was
Yeah.
like really weird.
Yeah, thanks. I hated it.
Yeah.
That was cursed.
There's a lot of really, really bad Islamophobia going on. One of the more infuriating things that they've been saying is like, don't forget 9/11, as if there's like also
What the fuck does Zoran Mamdani have to do with 9/11?
what the fuck does he also? It's like the other thing is like he's not. From what I understand, I don't know. He's of Muslim descent, right? But I don't really think he's a practicing Muslim. And also, as if practicing Muslims wanted to do 9/11, like.
Well, we know who did 9/11.
Yeah, it was like Saudis.
It was the Saudis.
who are like an American ally. Many of whom the people who perpetrated, some of them had like FBI handlers
Yeah.
and CIA connections.
They had training, dude.
Yeah,
They had actual
so-
training.
So like
So
But like,
no, you don't see anybody saying like, "Well, let's dump the Saudis for 9/11."
yeah, dude. Yeah, I know, man. Instead, they're like, but the other thing that just drives me crazy is like, they're like, he's a covert jihadist. It's like, what? Like, because he's Muslim. Like, what? What do
He
you?
was raised in New York, bro. He went to school not that far from where I'm at now.
His dad is a Marxist fucking academic. Like,
Right.
his mom is like a cosmopolitan filmmaker. He's not like some like Wahhabist fucking
He
Saudi.
was in Uganda for like 5 minutes, bro.
Yeah, I know. Like, but the other thing is like it's just so the level of rate like just it's just so infuriating. It's like
It is.
it's really
It's really infuriating, especially when they use AI to like hallucinate the things that they're supposed to be
Yeah.
afraid of. These things aren't real. So why are like it goes to the point where they have to generate the boogeyman.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
But
I
at
mean,
that point, if you're generating the boogeyman, is that not a stunning admission of the thing that you're afraid of not being real?
yeah. I mean, the truth is I think a lot of these political actors are operating cynically. They don't
Yeah, no,
actually
that's absolutely
believe.
cynical.
I think that it's big lie tactics. I think that they're
Absolutely.
just pumping out the lie that he's a jihadist who's
Well,
gonna
you can't
go.
tell me Cuomo, a career politician who's spent most of his life in government, you can't tell me he actually believes that Mamdani somehow, even indirectly, responsible for 9/11.
No, he doesn't obviously believe that. He's just a piece of shit who will do big lie tactics. He'll just lie. So, I
That's
mean,
disgusting because
it's
at
disgusting.
the end of the day, that is putting the purported purpose for doing this is to make Jewish people safe. You're not making them safer. You're doing the
No,
opposite by doing
you're
it.
stoking the tensions.
You're making them a target.
Yeah, you're stoking the tensions. You're increasing the tension. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's so cynical and so they're fucking with forces that they're not going to be able to control. Uh, they're stoking the flames of Islamophobia. They're not going to be able to take that back. So anyways, yeah, I think that's enough. We'll be talking more about Mamdani in a couple days, so and we can discuss all of the idiocies that people have been talking about. But we had an interesting episode, I think, today. We're gonna call it a bit earlier today, unfortunately, because we don't have our friend Donald, and I'm tired and I have a lot to do. But
We'll be back.
we shall be
on
back.
Tuesday.
We talked about Venezuela. We talked about Jeffrey Epstein being Ehud Barak's like handler. I don't even know what the fuck you call it.
Yeah, the most successful creep in history.
We watched the most cursed fucking AI video produced yet, which is saying something. Yeah, so thank you for joining us. And remember to read Cosmonaut Magazine, share CosmoStream with your friends and family and loved ones.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah, subscribe, hit that like or whatever the hell it is. Subscribe, hit the like.
Hit the
Check us
notification bell.
check us out on X. Buy some merch. Go on our website, Cosmonaut Magazine. Get some merch, because we don't make money doing this, but we need to pay for things. So I thank everyone for joining, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday.
See you then.